Okay, so we come on to the chapter Mother Bear's Call. All eyes here. I'll read and then I will explain. Okay, we begin. Have you ever lost any of your prized possessions? Something that you held close to your heart and cannot do without? How did you feel then? Tell the class. So now they're asking you, many a times there are many precious and things which are dear to us, which are close to our heart, and we have lost them. Okay. So now they're asking you, have you ever, has this ever happened with you? Anytime? Anyone? In the offline class? Yes. Here? Loud? You lost your father. That's a very irreparable loss. Anyone else from online class? Anything precious? Like I lost my mobile once.
Mom, grandpa.
Yes, your grandparent. Okay, so that loss is irreparable. So here's a story where you see how a mother bear gives a call to the cub because it is lost. Okay, so please don't drink when I'm teaching. Do this before that. Okay, let us read about a reunion of a mother bear and her cub. So this is the story about a bear, mother bear, and the little cub which she had. Okay, Maria from an upper window, the children coming, tugging the basket along. So now Maria, the first character in the story, is a female called Maria, and she saw that the children were coming holding something. You know, she was watching from somewhere secretly from the top window, upper window, and she realized that they are tugging something. That means the children were holding something very close to them. Okay, and they were having that thing in a basket, and they were coming towards the house. Okay, now she called down the old uncle and Aunt Susan for on the piazza. So now, seeing that the children are coming and they are holding something, immediately Maria, she called for old uncle and Aunt Susan, okay, to come on the piazza. Now, what is the piazza? Please go through it. It is the veranda of the house, okay. So she called the two of them to the veranda. If them children aren't bringing home a cup. Now she's saying, I really hope that these children are not bringing a cup to this house. Now she saw them holding something and she said that these children might have brought a cup. Old uncle stirred in his hammock. Aunt Susan went down the steps. So now please turn over the next page and you'll see what a hammock is. A swing where you lie down. Can you see the picture where old uncle is lying down? Child, for those who have not having a book, this is the page. Can you see the hammock? So this is the hammock, okay? A swing where you lie down, okay? A resting swing. So old uncle, he just got twisted and turned from that swing and he came down, and Aunt Susan also went down the steps. What will they do next? Said old uncle, as the twins came up with a joyful outcry to exhibit their treasure. He rose and peered into the basket. Now, as the children were coming, they had lots of enthusiasm and they were wanting to show them, the people at home, what they had brought. So, old uncle, he went and he peeped inside the basket to know what was there in it. Okay, moving further. We thought you would be pleased. Essie faltered. Now, Essie was the one who said, oh, we thought that you'd feel happy. Now, uncle was confused. When saw the basket, he said, oh no, what they have got it. But Essie wanted to see, she said, oh, I thought you would be very happy when you see the basket. Why, uncle, cried Allie. Why, old uncle, don't you love a baby bear? I just want you to see him suck my fingers. You can't help loving him. So now Allie also, please leave a bench and then sit here. Allie also, she also was not happy with the kind of gesture which our old uncle had shown. So she Ali also said, "You see, I thought you would like them, but you aren't liking them. Why? Haven't you seen if I put my finger on the cub's mouth, it is sucking my finger." Settle down. Okay. So the little Ali, she said, "You know what? When I hold a baby cub and when I put my finger inside its mouth, it starts sucking my finger. Why is that baby doing so? Thinking that it's a mama's milk that the cub is getting, right?" So she was very excited. She was telling everything to old uncle. I I love you, teased old uncle, catching her up to a place in a hammock beside himself. But you can't keep him alive on your fingers, even if he only sucked up one a day. So now uncle said, "Hey, listen, I like you, but then you cannot feed a baby cub by just giving your finger. It will not survive. And then finally, due to hunger, the baby cub might eat away all your fingers. Okay. Each day, the baby cub, because it cannot live without its mother, so it will not survive. And in that case, he will suck up and eat up your fingers. Okay. So old uncle said, you can't keep that baby cub here. Right? Okay. You are just funning, said Ali. Pitcher knows how to feed him, and so does Michelle. I reckon Easy and I could too. Now, she was very adamant. Ali said, see, even if I don't know how to feed this little baby cub, there are people in the house who will do it. So for that, she said that there's a person, the pitcher in the house, that means a person called pitcher. She said that pitcher can feed that cub, he can provide, and he knows how to manage it. And so does Michael. So pitcher and Michael are another two characters who are there in this story. So, and then Recon is Easty and I could too. That means they decided down. They started thinking, both of them, that how can we keep this baby cub here in the house? Okay. Old uncle, we won't let him be a bit of trouble, said Easty. Now they are trying to convince uncle. They are saying, don't worry, uncle, he won't be any problem to anyone. He will be as perfectly fine as you think him to be. Of course, he won't be any trouble, said Aunt Cindy. She and Aunt Rose had brought a bottle of warm milk with a rag over the top of it. They put it into the little bear's mouth, and the whole family gathered round to see him take his dinner. Now, Uncle, they were talking to old uncle, when two characters, Aunt Susan and Aunt Rose, they entered, and what they had brought along with them, a feeding bottle. Okay? And in that, through that feeding bottle, they cuddled the baby nicely and they started feeding the baby bear. Okay, the cub. At last, the little fellow let go the bottle, stretched himself and rolled over on the grass and looked so good-natured, you would almost have said he was laughing. And Aunt Susan said, a little bear is a little deer. So now, after getting the satisfied drinking process of the milk was over, after he was drenched and all fully satisfied, now the baby bear was more than happy. Ka pet bhar gaya tha, so he was very happy, right? So in that case, sit here. In that case, he was overwhelmed. So now he was stretching and showing all kind of happy gestures. So seeing that baby bear, they thought that it is looking as if he is very happy. Who's very happy? The baby bear is very happy. Okay? And then there is an undercoat. A little bear is a little deer. That means when Aunt Susan saw that happy baby, that cub, she said that this small little bear is such a happy creature to be around. Is such a happy and friendly one. Okay? So this is what it means. The cub must have endearments he received that day. Now, the baby bear, ever since he had come to the house, all were surrounded, paying attention on him, So this extra tension had made him so overwhelmed, so excited, and finally the baby bear was tired. So when if you have ever brought a pet to your house, huh? The day the pet comes, you all surround him, look after him, keep looking at him, don't let him do anything of his choice. And finally, the pet is tired, and so are you. So this is what happened with the baby bear. ठीक है? वो भी बुरी तरह थक गया, right? Okay. Not to say anything about Master Will's efforts to make him stand on his hind legs when he tumbled over every time like a mold of jelly. So now there was one of the Master Wills. He was making an effort. Dekha hai na? When you bring a pet dog, you just try to hold him on his front legs so that as if you want to make him stand. Hai na? Same thing happened with this poor little bear. Master Will was trying to hold him so that he could stand still on his hind legs. Okay. So he was holding the forelegs so that the bear could stand on his hinds. Okay. But then as soon as he left him, he cuddled as if it is a jelly. Have you seen what is it? That slime, that soft, very repulsive. I find it very repulsive. But have you seen that soft and sticky thing? So in the same way, the baby, when he was cub was held in with the two hands, as soon as the master left him, he just rolled and cuddled into itself. Got it? Got the feeling? Okay. But at last, and after his supper, he was put to sleep in the shed on a little truss of hay under an old blanket, where as soon as he was alone, he began to whimper for his mother. So now, after a lot of play, the baby bear was left alone on a heap of grass so that it could be cozy and comfortable, and he was left alone to lie down. Now, the moment he was alone, what happened to the bear? He started crying for his mother. Okay, he was missing the the mother bear. Okay, but the children did not hear him. They had trooped upstairs to their own beds, all of them as tired as the cub himself, and were presently sound asleep. Now, after cuddling and playing with the baby bear the whole day, not only was the bear tired, but also were the children. ठीक है ना? बच्चे भी बहुत थक गए थे, बेबी बेयर तो थक ही गया था आपस में खेल खेल के. So when they had left the child there, baby cub there in the grass area and covered him with a blanket and all, and when they came upstairs, they went to bed immediately and they slept. And while the baby bear was crying for the mother, it could not be heard by any one of them. Yeah, because they were upstairs, and as soon as they reached their beds, they fell asleep. Got it? The great moon rose, white and solemn above the hills, and poured her silver over the forest, and the whole world seemed asleep too. But now, gradually the night came. Okay? The night scene came. The moon was lit up. The glittering, shining silver of the moonlight had spread all around the house and the place. And it was the night time when we are talking of. Clear? So it is finally the night time and it's a moonlit night. Chandni Raat hai. Okay? It's a moonlit night. Okay? It was just in their first sweet slumber that everyone in that house was waked up by the strangest, the most melancholy, the most frightful sound they had ever heard. Now, just as the night had begun, they could all were just settling and they had their first small little nap of sleep. They had just begun to fall asleep, the whole people in the house, okay, when they were shocked by the sound which was created. And that sound was very horrible, very frightening, at the same time, very melancholy. What does that mean? It had pain. It had, yadana. Melancholy means to miss somebody and you cry. That kind of a sound with a little harshness, Little stubbornness was there too. Did you get this? Who do you think it could be? Children, who do you think it could be?
Ma'am, Mother Bear.
Yeah, it must have been the mother bear. Okay, let's see, we'll come to know about it. Now it was loud, high, and shrill. So the sound effects here, the writer has very beautifully told. It was loud, it was clear, high pitched, and shrill. Shrill means tikhisi. Something like tikhisi. Okay, a very shrill cry it was. Hoo. Now this is the way the baby bear was, the mother bear was crying. Okay, it came. Now it was a long, low growl. Now again, it was a series of sharp cries like barks. Now it was a roar, and something was knocking about the chairs on the piazza, scratching at the windows, lumbering down the steps, and plowing and plunging over the grass. Something with heavy jaws and coming clap, clap along the front of the house. Finally, it made off clumsily in the direction of the shed and raised such an uproar there that the sky rang with it. Now, gradually, the mother bear could sniff the smell of the baby cub. So it was looking all over the house, making shrill cries, making soft whimpers, making sounds which the baby bear could listen. And mother bear was restless. She was dying to see her child. And in that connection, she went to the piazza, she went to the other portions of the house. And finally, with the smell, she could make out and she moved towards the shed. And why did she move towards the shed? Because shed was the place where the baby cub was. Okay. So she started moving finally towards the baby cub. And how could she know it? She could smell, right? Okay. Everyone was out of bed and at the windows. Now, since everyone in the house got up, so all just came out. Not came out, they came out of their bed and hiding from the window, they started peeping at the baby bear. Okay? Sorry, mother bear. The twins, half hiding behind the curtains in fright, shivered as they saw plainly in the moonlight a big creature standing erect, coughing away away at the side of the shed and whinnying and growling all the more when a little whine and a little yelp answered from within. So now all were watching from the window and these two twins in the story. Okay? Ali and Essie. So even they were peeping and they were very scared. Obviously, seeing a bear, it's quite scary. And when you see it so close within the premises of your own house, so seeing it from the window, they were all the more scared. Okay? And they could see that the bear was moving here and there in search of the baby. Okay? And where did these two children hide? Behind the curtains of the window. Clear? Now, Pitcher saw the children and laughed. Now, Pitcher is the same person who knew about the bears and how to give them milk. He must have been a worker there in the house. So, Pitcher saw these two children. They were scared. So, he laughed at them. Okay? He was standing at the window at the other end of the long hall. So, now, this is one window. After a long wall, he was standing at the next window. And from there, he saw these children scared. And he said, oh, maza aaya. So now he came over to frighten them more. Let's see. It's Mother Bear, he called. Hear her. Where's my little bear? She's asking. So now, Pitcher is just enacting. Whatever sound the Mother Bear was making, nobody can understand what she was making. But then Pitcher started translating to the children. कि पता है ये कह रही है मेरे बच्चे कहाँ है मेरे बच्चे कहाँ है. So now this was the translation which Pitcher was doing for the children, for those two twins. Got it? So it was, where are my kids? So she's asking, where's my baby? You folks give him back or I'll eat your babies. So now Pitcher is telling them, That mother bear is saying, listen, you better give my children back. Otherwise, I'm going to eat your children in the house. Isn't it scary and funny? Which is just trying to make these children feel that, yeah, you know, if you do not leave the child, return back the cub, then the possibility could be that you will be eaten up by the bear, right? Okay. Little Bruin, I'm a hearing of ye. Ye want your mammy, don't you? She smelled ye all the way here. How am I going to fetch ye? Out blessed. If I know, but I'm going to fetch ye. I say, give me my little bear. He is a different bear, a bright bear. If you folks only seen him eaten of blackberries, you'd know how smart he was. Say, I just can't lend him. I've got to get him real fat for we go into the winter quarters. So now again, Pitcher is using a different kind of a tone and language just to create a scene, you know, just to create a scene more interesting. The way Pitcher could have talked the way we talk in English, but he's using a little different, you know, तुमने ऐसा क्यों किया, like this. Okay, he's just wanting to say तुमने ऐसा क्यों किया, but he's trying to, you know, give a different tone and a different note to the whole perception. So he's saying, you know what Mother Bear is saying? My baby is the finest, and if you have given him blackberries, he would have eaten all. I want him to grow fat because the winters are approaching. So what happens in winter? Anyone, any idea? What do bears do in winter?
Yes,
Basically,
ma'am.
what is this winter sleep called in English? The scientific name is called? What is it called? The long winter sleep is called hibernation. Yes, very good. So, which is trying to portray everything what the mother bear would have said. Is the mother bear actually saying this? Is the mother bear actually saying this? No. It is only Pitcher who's cooking up a story to make the children feel what mother bear is going through. Okay? Clear till here? How ye got here? Anyway, you little scamp, can't I leave ye 5 minutes? Ye was safe asleep in a soft collar, and then I was wading into the river with a beehive in my arms, so as to drown the bees and get the honey. Off ye go. Don't ye know little bears should mind their mothers? Oh, somebody tuck you. Tucky, brrr. I don't leave so much as their aprons if I can lay paws on them. That is, or unless, so be it, Ali and Essie. But I have to box their ears for them. I guess I say now, folks, brr, brr, I'll tear the place down if you don't give me my cub. So now the baby cub was all the mother cub was the mother bear. The translation was, they said, oh, what happened? I went to get the bee honey for you. I was grabbing the what do you call it? The beehive. And when I went to the waters so that I could remove the bees from the hive to get you the honey, you were gone. Where did you go? Who took you? I told you not to leave. Now all this conversation is done by the mother bear. And who is telling this? Pitcher. It is Pitcher who's making this translation. Okay, we'll stop here for today. Okay, now please make sure that every day you all are supposed to send me your